Welcome back to episode 11 of A Very British Park. Last week we finished off Main Street with a lovely little plaza, built a stage, and introduced a Huss enterprise. This week you won't believe the amount of stuff we get done. Until you see it, then it'll be hard not to believe. The astute amongst you might have been wondering why I've kept this space empty at the front. Well, that's because I've known what I wanted here from the very beginning. Worthington Farms needs a unique attraction, a coaster that draws people in. As it currently stands, Pleasurewood Hills is the only park in the UK to have a Vekoma Boomerang. Well, how the turntables. Worthington Farms now has one too. Eat that, Pleasurewood Hills. After creating the queue and exit paths, I needed to replace the coaster supports we lost in the process. I then used the chain link fences to create some coaster netting. I began placing down some Victorian tile, but this time I remembered to do the fencing before I covered it all up. Gosh, I'm smart. With the fencing done, I completed this mini plaza and filled in the gaps with some bushes. I fenced off the ride area but included a gate for maintenance access. I popped down a generator, followed by some creosote bushes as weeds. It's important to make the ground look weathered. I painted some dirt around the station and under the coaster supports. I wanted to keep the station building nice and simple. I used wooden plank walls for the base, and then created some canopies using iron pillars, basic shapes, and bunting. I created a trim using beams before changing the path and station texture to wooden decking. I then went to town on the fencing to ensure the entire ride area is protected from public access. Once again, I added a gate for staff access, this time large enough for a vehicle to get through. I then linked the gate to the path via a service road. I adjusted the train tracks and added some hazard strips. I added a whole bunch of threatening signage before starting work on the coaster control booth. As I'm sure you can already guess, I built this using basic shapes and beams. I created a sliding window using glass and cables. I then gave it a door and shoved a clock on the wall. My love of signage got the better of me as I continued to add even more. I added some shrubbery around the support footers before placing down the ride sign. Our new boomerang is missing a name, so get thinking. There's nothing I love more than a bit of backstage. We've already got somewhere to house all of our admin team, but we need a home for our maintenance and groundskeeping staff. For this area, I decided on using porta cabins instead of any permanent infrastructure. It seems sensible for those spending their working days out and about anyway. I created these using wooden batten walls and tar pitch roofing. I added some stairs and AC units before giving the cabin a trim using hydro beams. I copied our custom windows from the admin buildings and then added some vents. I duplicated the whole thing a couple of times and then did some fancy artwork on the ground. I tried to imagine which areas of the ground would be most worn down. Next, I went nuts with maintenance paraphernalia, including vans, tilt trucks, bins, bin covers, and a couple of dumpsters. I placed some staff cars as I figured they would just park as close as they can. I then fenced off the area, popped down some clutter, and added the usual foliage. Following the recent news that Alton Towers is bringing in a bunch of fairground rides to up their flat ride count, I figured Worthington Farms could do the same. I placed down 3 of the most temporary looking rides I could, which includes a roller plane, looper plane, and a scrambler. In keeping with the temporary feel of this area, I went with crowd control barriers for the fencing, but placed them on different angles to give the impression that they were hand placed. However, with the threat of a live train track, it felt sensible to secure that with some real fencing. Using the city tarmac, I perfectly matched the terrain with the pathing. I then blended it with the exterior with some more terrain paint. A few benches and bins before copying our ice cream stall from Main Street. To really push the non-permanence of this area, I added some generators and other gubbins. With the addition of the ice cream stall, we needed another staff room, so I popped one into the back of the nearby toilet block. Glamorous. Assuming these travelling rides are run by their owners, they need somewhere to live. I created a small camp just behind using the same porta cabins. I added a campfire as somewhere for our showmen and showwomen to chill out with a beer after a long day. A bit more fencing before creating a nice snazzy sign for our new mini fun fair. The sign was made using, well, you guessed it, basic shapes and beams. Sections of parks like this always tend to be called something ironic, like Super Fun World, or maybe something as simple as Funland. I threw up some jazzy lights to really seal the deal before calling it a day. A boomerang, staff area, and the introduction of Funland, it's been quite the day. Enjoy these cinematics whilst I join the guys round the campfire for a bevy. Until next week.